Dear Christian friends, you're welcome to Marriage Preparation Notes from myself, Elder Dr. Prosper Tettey Doe, and my lovely wife, Mrs. Hannah Doe, would like to share with you. We've been married for 30 years, and we find this still important to refer to. Marriage Preparation Notes. Section 1. Communication. Strong marriages don't develop automatically. We'll be talking about why marriage preparation is important and is to plan for the journey. Marriage is the most exciting and challenging journey. Marriage is more than the wedding. Communication is important. In the United Kingdom, 1 in 3 marriages end in divorce, according to the statistics. And the average wedding preparation takes 250 hours, according to the statistics. And we need to learn how to create healthy marriage which will last. Helps also to discuss simple things which will come up, like finance and gifts. We are lifelong learners, and we need to ensure marriage and keep investing in it. And choose as arguments are smaller than our marriage. There are a few points to ponder over: how to communicate effectively, how to resolve conflicts, how to meet each other's emotional needs, how to develop our sexual relationship, how to decide who does what. Discover whether you are coming into marriage with different expectations, bases, depending on your upbringing. Discuss different cultures and also learning to communicate and talk effectively and listen effectively. 3 things affect our communication. 1, our personality. Extroverts and introverts. Some are methodical, others jump to action, are intuitive. 2, our family background. Talking family or action family background. No 2 families are the same. Some take turns to speak, others interrupt as a sign of interest. 3, our circumstances. Our jobs, shift work, finding time makes communication difficult. Moving house frequently affects time for communication. Children affect our communication due to time for them. Unemployment, bereavement, illness also may affect communication. There are common barriers to communication. 1, insufficient time. Know the good time and bad time to communicate. 2, not communicating our feelings may be due to family background, listening more, and not put your best part of yourself into your better half. Never let the sun go down on your anger. Do not postpone discussing feeling. And effective talking is important. 3, holding on to hurts and misunderstanding leads to shouting and sulking. It's better to discuss and apologize. 4, failing to listen to each other. The gift of being a good listener, a gift which requires constant practice, is perhaps the most healing gift anyone can possess. It doesn't judge or advise the other, but communicates support. at a level deeper than words. That's Stephen Harvey, who also said this means not just listening with your ears, but also, more importantly, listening with your eyes and heart, listening for feeling and for meaning. Do not interrupt or give advice or go off at a tangent to your partner. Do not try to solve problem. Put aside your own agenda. Tell each other to listen to important communication. Listening effectively takes long time with practice. Colossians chapter 3 verses 12 to 17. There's a homework here about effective listening. See how effective you are able to listen to your partner and pray on this issue. Session 2, commitment. Marriage is more than compatibility. Genesis chapter 2 verse 24. Marriage is for two main things. One, friendship. Genesis chapter 2. Marriage is the closest of all human relationships. What God has joined together, no one should separate. Divorce, in all cases, leads to hurt of both partners, which go on for a very long time. 2. Family life. God decided to take a man and woman to create a child through intimate relationship, sex. Relationship of committed love gives kids strong foundation. Breakdown of marriage affects children. So one needs to break the cycle of failed relationship in your parents. Marriage as a covenant relationship. Most people believe that marriage is about love. What is love in marriage? There are kinds of love. One is feelings of love called infatuation, can last from 3 minutes up to 3 years and then goes away. 2. Deliberate choose to love, that is cultivated over a period of time. Someone said, the roller coaster of my emotions isn't a good indicator of the health of our marriage. And winning power struggles with my wife is a pointless exercise. What works is treating our marriage as our most precious possession and investing time in it. That translates into my willingness to be wrong, to spend time doing fun things together, to listen to her when I have a lot of things to do, to help her out even when I am busy, not to score points, not to blame her for everything that goes wrong in my life, and to wait for a good moment to discuss difficult issues. So the fact that we are more in love than ever is no mere accident. A covenant. A covenant is a relationship bound by love, not legal document. Intimacy requires vulnerability. Vulnerability requires trust. Trust requires commitment. Read Psalm 85. It's about commitment we make to one another. We cannot control infatuation, but we can work on deliberate choice to love. What commitment means in practice? 1. Spend time together. Create romantic environment. Activity you both enjoy doing together. Plan with a diary. Prioritize and protect weekly dates from interruption. Set aside special time annually on holidays, away from children, weekend. What commitment means in practice. 2. The change of loyalties. Our first loyalty in marriage is to husband or wife. Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. Leaving mother and father, a new center of gravity begins, which is emotional. The leaving is psychological and emotional as well as physical. Leave parents and couple creates new one in couple's home. Sometimes it can be complicated by parents who are over dependent. We need to make our own decisions. Need to support each other once we make our decision. Resist manipulation by parents. Build mutually supportive relation with your parents. Honor your father and mother. Honor your father and mother by 1. Showing gratitude to parents. Thank them for all they have done, if possible, just before you marry. 2. Stay in touch with our parents. Take initiative. Decide together how much phone calls, visits, and holidays. 3. Planning for major festivals. A good opportunity to be with the wider family together. We are not responsible to parents, but as they grow older, we are responsible for them. They may need our advice or help. Take turns visiting partners' relatives. Relation between grandparent and grandchild is unique. On the wedding day, allow for some emotional involvement of parents. 4. Remember to say only when it is a compliment, you are just like your father or you are just like your mother. Parents and in-laws, allowing time apart. Adjust expectation to how much time to allow for each other to be on his or her own. Time apart is healthy. Philippians chapter 2, verses 1 to 7. It's a good passage for the wedding, and prayer is important for our in-laws and parents' relationship. Session 3, resolving conflict. We may blame each other, but sometimes it is our fault. Expect conflict. Conflict is inevitable. It is how we deal with the conflict which matters most. 3 reasons why we experience conflict. 1. We are different. Some difference may come through our gender or different backgrounds. 2. We are all selfish. 3. We have given up our independence. It takes adjustment to take the other person into account all the time. Marriage means we can no longer do just what we want and when we want. If we keep doing our own thing and fail to take each other into account, this can lead to frustration and anger. How do we resolve conflict effectively? 1. We need to learn how to handle our anger. Anger is not bad in itself. It is part of our God-given makeup. Anger can be used inappropriately in 2 ways. The rhino behavior, that is charging at partner, or the hedgehog behavior, withdraws and becomes selective in hearing. The hedgehog behavior is just as damaging as the rhino behavior. Accepting our differences. Some are focused on tasks and goals. Others are focused on relationships. One may like to take the lead, the other may like to support. We complement each other through our differences. We can't expect to change each other. Attitudes towards money may differ. Saving, spending, and giving away. A proper budget helps. Different approach to timekeeping. 3. Looking for solutions together means seeing we are on the same side, not opposite sides. 6 steps to resolving conflict. 1. Ready to hit the pause button. There are bad times to try to resolve conflict. Example, when we are about to leave for work or when we just arrived from work. Unhelpful places to discuss. Example, at home or in front of other people. It is not good to argue in public. 2. Identify the issue. Accept each has different opinion as a result of different upbringing. Learn to communicate on one issue instead of going on a tangent. 3. Discuss the issue rather than attack each other. Avoid labeling each other. Avoid saying you never or you always. Use I statements. 4. Listen to each other. Take turns to talk and listen. 5. Work out possible solutions. Sometimes write this down. 6. Choose the best solution, and if it does not work, choose the next. You may discuss with counselor or trusted friend or course leader. Dealing with finances. Marriage involves sharing, different attitudes towards money. Debt can be a strain on our marriage. See CAP, Christian Against Poverty, CAP, Citizens Advice Bureau, Independent Finance Advisor, Friends, let the partner know. It's helpful to talk about our feelings about money. Forgive for past mistakes, encourage each other, and plan together for the future. Forgiveness in marriage, how important it is. It is inevitable that we hurt each other, sometimes not planned or deliberately. 1. Identify the hurt. Tell partner when they hurt us and deal with it. 2. Learning to say sorry repeatedly. 3. Forgiveness is the greatest form of healing in marriage. The resentment of self-pity goes away. Choose to forgive. It is hard to forgive. And when one forgives, this resentment is interrupted. Resentment is an expression of what happens if the cycle of blame goes uninterrupted. It means literally to fail again. Resentment clings to the past, relives it over and over, and picks each fresh scab so that the wound never heals. Forgive as God has forgiven us. Sometimes forgiveness is a process. Keep no records of wrong, as in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 to 8. And prayer is important for a heart to forgive. Session 4. Keeping love alive. Developing friendship. Nurture friendship by the following. 1. Friends confide in each other. Disagreements are not as dangerous as secrets. Secrets breed mistrust. 2. Friends talk to each other. Man's companionship is friends. Meal times enable conversation. TV dinners are a real killer when it comes to keeping love alive in a marriage. Good questions are the ones that are enjoyable to answer and help draw the other person out. Ask more open-ended questions. 3. Friends have fun together. Friendship is based on shared experiences which lead to shared memories. 6 things you enjoy doing together. You may write these down. 5 ways of showing love. Discover how our partner feels loved. Discovering each other's needs. And the first is speaking loving, affirming words. Encourage them, compliment them, thank them for the things they do for us. 2. Spending quality time with our husband or wife means undivided attention. 3. Thoughtful presence. Presents are a powerful visual symbol of love. 4. Physical affection. A hug, a kiss, or holding hands. 5. Kind actions. Doing things for our partner. Routine things like cooking, ironing, mowing the lawn, washing up. Learn our partner's language of love. It takes effort, discipline, and practice. Building our sexual relationship. Sex is communication at the deepest level of our personality. It joins two people together physically, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. Sexual relation expresses unity and creates unity between husband and wife. Sex is a vital and integral part of marriage. God loves sex. The Bible portrays sex as a gift of God for our enjoyment. We are to feel no guilt about sex in a loving marriage relationship. But sex is not given for our selfish enjoyment. There's a lot of media pressure, like the media man who is rough yet tender, has equipment that always works perfectly, the media woman who never has a headache, is never anxious, and never has a period, the media couple who are active every single night of their life. And most ordinary people are just rushing to try to keep up with this incredibly false image. A fantasy relationship can create a wedge in a marriage. They can be fueled by being obsessed or fascinated with some famous person, or fueled by texting or email correspondence. What may appear innocent can get out of control and ruin a marriage. So beware. Pornography material through TV or internet or magazine is at the very heart of marriage relationship. There is help available. First step is to admit that it is a problem. Pornography is self-focused sex. All self-focused sex, whether fantasy or real, that concentrates solely on our own desires will ultimately hurt us and others. Good sex is always other-focused. It requires the giving of ourselves in love and commitment, not for a short time, not for as long as infatuation lasts, but for life. When a couple love one another, this can help them enjoy giving and receiving. The best way is to keep sex for marriage, because sex requires love and commitment. One danger for sex outside marriage can cause us to relate at surface level. Sex can easily become the basis of our relationship rather than love and commitment. Waiting isn't easy. Stop sleeping together until you get married. Relationship with Jesus Christ is more important. Keeping sex for marriage requires self-control. It requires discipline. It is worth waiting for marriage. Building a good sex life in marriage. 1. See it as a journey over a lifetime. Laugh and talk together. Don't expect too much from each other on your wedding night. Sexual intimacy affects every aspect of marriage, and every aspect of marriage relationship affects sex. 2. Be ready to talk. Women take longer to respond. Tell one another what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy. 3. Be prepared to tackle problems. Past abusive relationship need to be talked about. Seek professional help as needed. Common problems: low self-esteem and body image. Love and encouragement can help build self-esteem. Tiredness from job or children commitment. Different levels of sexual desire. Do talk about problems, don't bury them. 4. Deal with past sexual relationship. Talk about it before you marry. Forgive each other. Ask God for forgiveness. Say sorry to each other. Bring closure to past relationships. Destroy diaries, photos, and letters of past relationships. 5. Discuss family planning and having children. 6. Don't believe every statistic you hear. Work out your own guide. Don't depend on the media. Sex is a vital part of marriage. Invest in it. Always prioritize your marriage relationship above all others. Read Psalm 85 and Song of Songs. Section 5. Shared goals and values. 1. Marriage involves changing our behavior. Give more than you take, and it's learning to love. 2. Being healed of our past. We come with positive as well as negative past experience. Forgive those who hurt us in the past. 3. Let go of unrealistic expectations. Unmet childhood needs. We should not look for perfection and looking for elusive, perfect comparisons. No one person can meet all our needs. Look to God to meet all needs. 4. Showing appreciation on a daily basis. Be each other's fans, not each other's critic. Say 5 positive remarks for every 1 negative remark. Do not take partner for granted. Compliment your partner by text, email. Say you love partner. Exercise. Write down 8 things you like about your partner. Working out our values. Our values affect the choices we make. Talk about your dreams and review from time to time. It is a process. The priority top 5 in our lives are: 1. Relationship with God. 2. Our marriage. 3. Children. 4. Jobs. 5. Church community and friends. Friendships. Friends, couples enrich our lives. Careful about whom you spend time with, and be open about which you spend time with. Children. In a loving, stable marriage, have time for each other. Share children together. Children can draw couple closer together or pull them apart. Work together, time for each other, and time for our children. Jobs. Marriage is not about competing with each other. It is not my job versus your job. It is how I can help my husband or wife to fulfill the God-given potentials in his or her life. Learn how to balance the demands of our respective jobs, whether full-time, part-time, or working from home. Happiness is a byproduct of a good marriage. Marriage is more than your love for each other. It has a higher dignity and power, for it is God's holy ordinance through which He wills to perpetuate the human race until the end of time. In your love, you see only your true selves, but in your marriage, you are in a link, in a chain of the generations which God causes to come and to pass away to give to His glory and calls into His kingdom. Develop a vision for your marriage. In your love, you see only the heaven of your happiness, but in marriage, you are placed at the post of responsibility towards the world and mankind. Your love is your own private possession, but marriage, more than something personal, it is a status and an office. There is a God-given purpose. Develop a vision for your marriage. Agree on core priority values. Create an equal partnership role. Decide on who takes a lead in what you do. We may carry over roles of our own parents into our marriage. Talk about our expectations before marriage, if possible. Whoever knows more about something makes the decision. Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Love one another and place each other's interests. Look at your strengths and complement each other. The male strength is for protection. Women are vulnerable after childbirth, pregnancy, and during their period. Write 6 areas of your responsibility, your partner's responsibility, and joint responsibility. Building spiritual togetherness involves God, husband, and wife. Faith in God at the center of our marriage. Each has a strong faith in God affecting our marriage. Pray together each day. It enhances intimacy. Focus on each other's needs. 1 John chapter 4. God bless you and thank you for listening to this message. We pray that to be a blessing to you and your partner. Be blessed.